to all of us. He is an amazing individual and one of our founders now at ARIIX. Please help me welcome the one and only Mr. Tim Seth.
Very much. Thank you. And Mark left out something about that story. He was 100% fully dedicated to taking me off that road. Notice how he said we met and one thing after another. No. He was kicking and elbowing, and then he took a dive and risked it all by trying to take me off that road. And I really did not care if he stripped his shorts down. I was not coming down. So anyway, that's what happens when two other alpha males hit the same rope at the same time. Okay, this has been extraordinary convention. I've been at a number of conventions in my life. I was talking with Lynn Allen Johnson earlier, and I said to her, you know, this is the last small convention. This is the last time we will have this incredible unity to where we all know each other, and you know, that's sort of a feeling. It will grow. The next time we meet, it will be really big. Yes. Okay? And so it's what we're here for. It's not something to dread. It's just something that's going to happen next, because the products are dynamic, you are dynamic, the company is dynamic. All of it comes and unites at the same time. It's going to be explosive. So cherish this moment. Really do cherish this moment, because it won't stay like this for long. Okay, so my job to do here is to direct you in the right direction. So I'm going to do a quick summary, and then I'm going to direct you on how to best take the information from convention, zero it in and focus it on one single direction, so that you don't go home and say, now what? Okay? So I'm going to give you the now what right now. So let's just summarize some things. Number one is that the compensation plan, I will always put that as a new release in our conventions, because that thing is not to be disrespected or forgotten. Okay, you've now found out about the Founders Club. You've heard about the Hawaiian trip. You've heard a lot about the weight loss contest. You've heard about Elevate, so you can come out to the company and get trained and things like that. So those are on the incentive side of things. And then you've got the products to take a look at. And gosh, Deanna just knocked it out of the park with the products. We've got new packaging on Nutrify. We've got Revive, entirely new brand. We have 3 products inside of Pure Nourish. And so all of that is on the product side. And from a looks perspective, just take a look at it. Like, isn't that sexy? Yeah. There was one time I went over to, I went down to the office. I moved near the home office so that I could go in there and check in on the guys every once in a while, you know. And so I remember sitting there and I was talking to Fred, and I was trying to like let him know that, you know, like that we needed a facelift or something like that. And I'll never forget him saying, Tim, do you really think I don't see that? You know, and so when I take a look at the new products, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So can everyone give it up for the creative team for creating these products? Thank you guys. All creative. Thank you for what you've done here. All right. So that's the products, and then you've also gotten some training. You now know how to dance, right? Okay, so Woodson hooked you up. We've got product training, some of the best that I've ever heard. It's very technical, if you went to some of them that I went to, but it was extraordinary. That's the stuff. I know a lot about the subject of sales, and when people say you sell the benefits, that's absolutely right. They want the benefit of the weight loss, but sometimes you need that conversation to be able to explain why diet A is different than diet B, C, D, E, and F. And so I like having that information so that I'm armed. If should I have to pull out bigger guns, I like to. That's the way that I view that extra information. I'm sorry, let me back that up one. Okay. You learn how to build. I watched quite a few of these, and it's really been effective for me to watch some of these, how to actually build, some of the working with somewhat of the party plan, different types of concepts. And so whatever one you've seen and indicated to you, I'm not going to conflict with that. I'm just going to show you kind of a larger view of something. And then the X office, and then comp plan training. So we've done a lot in 2 days. Would you say? Yes. All right, so now let's zero that in, and that is from the ARIIX Unleashed Convention to getting your goals. All right, so number one is that you got to know what those goals are. So I'm going to talk to you about steps in sequence. Does anybody know what sequence means? Annabella, do you know what sequence means? It's the order. Very good. How old is she? 8. Incredible. Good job. Okay. Sequence. Sequence would be, I just said this outside, you put on your pants and then you put on your underwear. That would be wrong sequence. You want to be in the right sequence. And so it's not enough just to have the steps, but you also have to have the steps in sequence. That's why I put it this way. So decide your goal. Senior officer, CEO, chairman, elevate, Hawaii, founder, whatever your goal is, just mock it up. Now, I want you to take your right hand and touch your chin. How long did that take? Like that, right? So you don't have to sit around and spend a whole lot of debate. The Indians call this the disease of long thinking. People sit around and like do the craziest things. Just decide what you want, go get it. Don't sit around, well, I don't know. No, just decide and go. All right, you can change it later in terms of your goal. All right, so just so that you know, because I'm going to be discussing something later, a senior officer makes $2,000 a week. Okay? The senior officer. And then one above that, a CEO, is going to double that, $4,000 a week. Okay? And chairman will give you $2,000 more a week. Okay, so let's see. Next one is after you've decided your goal, then decide your brand. Are you wanting to most work Slenderize or Nutrify or Purity or Revive? You decide what brand you want to work. Next, decide your brand specific kit. In other words, you've got to start a prospect or start a customer in something. Which kit is most appropriate for what you're going after? And if you're, let's say that you're doing the Slenderize brand, are you going to do the clinical? That's got 250 points. The business pack, elite, right? So which one are you going to use? What's your primary way you're going to go about it? I'm going to give you a little picture. This is in my office. I took a picture of it and labeled these things so that you can see what I do. On the left-hand side, in the back office, the X office, you'll find different PDFs. And so on the left side, I have my price list. Right next to that, I have my customer packs, my enrollment packs. Next to that are the auto delivery packs. And then I have just a sketch diagram of my organization, and then I have my goals. I have the Hawaii trip as a short term, I have my lovely wife there as motivation, and then I have my partners. Before I was a founder, I had my partners there, okay? And the reason that it's kind of laid out that way, in my logic anyway, is that these are the people who are out there working. I need to match their efforts. It's the way I think with it. My motivation, my wife and I have goals, all right? And one of them, that short-term goal there, I used to fly over the top of the hotel that we're going to be going to. I was in the bomb squad. I used to defuse bombs on an island called Koho'olawi. I diffused thousands of bombs on that particular island. And every time that we would fly over, I would see this luxury hotel. And I would think, wow, man, what do those people do? Like, how could you ever stay at a hotel like that? And little old me ends up winning a trip to it. What do you say? You think it's a good goal for me? I want to get there. All right? So that's the way I mock up my goals and things. And then right next to my computer screen, you see a little computer screen on the right-hand side? I just took that payout. Now, I found that PDF document that's on the left there, somewhere in the back office. And all I did was just cut out that chunk from CEO down. And I taped that to my computer monitor. Right, so that's kind of what I keep my focus on. That's where I'm going with it. Next, I'm going to decide your presentation. All right, so I'm not going to decide your presentation. You're going to decide your presentation. Is it customers or is it reps? So remember, we just figured out the brand and the kit, and now you got to create your presentation or use a presentation. And then you lay out what's called a sales funnel. All right, so now I'm going to start educating you from a marketer's perspective. What is a sales funnel? It's the steps in sequence you do to find prospects and present your offer. That's what a sales funnel is. And so I'll give you some examples in just a second. So how about business campaign or a business sales funnel, if you will? So a business sales funnel is that you are prospecting people for the business. And people often ask me these questions, is it business or product? I'll hit that in just a second, but it's never either or. It's always both. So at the very top there, a lead magnet is some sort of a phrase that you're going to use to identify people. All guys 40 to 80 years old, raise your hand. That's called a lead magnet. What I just did is that I caused you to raise your hand. Moms who want to lose weight, who are you? All right, those are called lead magnets. Engineers frustrated with income. Okay, these are called lead magnets. They cause someone to raise their hand and say, that's me. Okay, so that's step one. And then that can come from people that you know or people that you don't know yet. So you can advertise for it, you can go out and talk to your friends. Second thing is presentation. On a business, I use brilliant compensation, not because I created it, it's just nothing explains this industry that I'm aware of. All right, so that's the reason that I use that. And then I use ARIIX, the video that's in your back office. I've got a URL there if you want to take a picture of it and try to somehow match those zeros and O's when you try to type that in. So that's the ARIIX, or the business side that I do. Then I pick up the phone. After they've come through the ARIIX video, then I pick up the phone and I call them and talk to them. And that's when I use the inviting formula that you learned in your boss. Customer campaign. Lead magnet. Guys, 40 to 80 years old who want to lose weight. That's the one that I ran. Okay? Then I take them into a presentation. I created a presentation. It is not yet proven, and so I've not made it available. I'm stingy that way. I'm not trying to stop anything from you getting. I'm not trying to stop you from getting something. I just want what I give you to be proven. Okay? So I used another one, but whatever presentation. Now, what's a presentation? It could be a webinar. It could be a conference call. It could be you sitting down in a coffee shop and talking to people. Right? So a presentation can come in a lot of variations. All right, so right after you do some sort of a presentation, it could be a video, webinar, whatever, then you do a phone call with them, and then I choose a clinical path. Now I want to give you a big picture. How do I lay out a sales funnel? What is the exact conversation in my head? So the leadership calls that I do once a month, we got into this discussion, and after the call, I sat down and I was creating a new campaign. And so I just wrote everything down and I did. Okay? So you get to benefit from it. Here's how I create a sales campaign. Number one, I already know, I'm going to back up 1, 2. Okay, so look at the green side, look at the bottom, and it says clinical pack. Okay, I know what I'm going to sell. That's what I start with. I know what I'm going to sell. One more here. There you go. So, but I never call the product that I'm selling the end goal. The result the customer wants is the end goal. If there was anything that I would tell you to circle, to put asterisks on, to stomp up and down on, that would be it. We do not sell the product, we sell results. And so that's the main thing. All right. So I have found for people to get the greatest amount of results, it's a clinical pack plus education. That's what I have found. So those two things known, I have to ask, how can I get into a situation to sell a clinical pack? A phone call. What would I need to have them see in order to get a phone call? It would be like they would have needed to see something, right? It was a presentation that would have needed to be seen. Before that, well, I would have had to have found somebody who wants to lose weight. And just before that, I would have had to have found out, where did those people hang out? Where do overweight people hang out? I think the pool. I think that's where they hang out in Las Vegas. Okay, you get the idea. In other words, where do groups of people hang out? Or where do groups of people who want to lose weight? Before that is, how can I reach them? So even though the pool would be great, I'd have to go up one by one, right? So how can I reach them en masse? And then take a picture of that because I've got to go fast, all right? So that's how I lay out any sales campaign that I ever do, is this is the conversation in my head that results in a campaign. Here's business. This is exactly my statistics. These things don't lie. They have worked on multiple companies, okay? They don't lie. It'll always be this. Up at the top, I get 1,297 leads, and then I lose most of them. Only 423 end up when I send them in to watch What the Wealthy Buy on Payday. It's just a little short little video clip. And then once they go through that, they get, I get a lot. Like most of those will go ahead and watch Brilliant Compensation after that. 94% did. And then those that will watch the company video drop in half. But out of that 205, I will sponsor 60 people. Okay? That total from lead down to signups is 4.6%. And out of those 60, if they buy a business pack on average, that's going to create 30,000 points. That will make you a senior officer for 1 week. Okay? That's the statistics, and it doesn't matter how many different times you run it, those are going to be. You're going to sign up 4%. So if you talk to 10 people, you don't sign anybody up. You have to talk to volume. And that's what I know, and it is my secret. Here's product campaign. I did a cool little thing. All the guys that are on 3X, give me a shout. So I recruited a bunch of customers. I was not recruiting business people. I recruited customers. I had 356 leads. Out of that, 153 went through the presentation. And out of that, me and Stefan dialed 97, connected with 40, and we got 30 customers. Out of those 30 customers, 24 of those signed up in the business. That was quite a crowd that just cheered, huh? Okay, so what is that statistic? That statistic is 6.7%. Okay? So it's pretty even. So what I'm trying to share with you, it doesn't matter what you do. You've got to go through the sales funnels. Right? It always starts with leads. It then goes to some type of presentation. And then it's going to go to a phone call. That's where inviting formula is going to come to your aid. And then after that, it's going to come to some of those people. I'm just going to jump past this. My time is up here. On the product ones, I want you to just look at the volume on that. So what we did was that we use a clinical pack because we get the most amount of results out of it. And out of the clinical pack, we put 356 people in there to optimize one side of a line. So 700 people, theoretically, is going to create a senior officer. All right, so final slide here. This picture should show you everything. On the left-hand side, you've got the world population. One step in is after the lead magnet. Okay, so you threw out a shout out up there. Said, hey, everybody, you know, men 40 years old or older who want to lose weight. They raise their hand. Then they go into some kind of presentation. It can be a webinar. It can be anything. And then they go to a phone call. And then they become a customer. And then some of those become reps. And then some of those become self-starters. And it's always going to be 4 to 6%. If you're warm market, you get a lot better. That's why we always suggest you start with a warm market. But once you're done with your warm market, get to work. Take every penny that you make and put it back into more ads. And then take all of those profits, put it right back into more ads. And before you know it, you're going to be a founder. I appreciate you people for being here. And from the bottom of my heart, I hope you've got all of that because it really is everything I know. Yeah.